Are you ready?
Yes and no. What about you?
Not really.
We're ready whenever you are, Noah. Hi guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. My name is Sarah and my daughter's name is Noah. So on today's video, I'm going to be talking about my labor and delivery story. If you guys are interested, keep on watching. So it all started on December 13th, 2018, around nighttime. I was with my family. We were having like a family gathering. And I remember like I was starting to feel a little bit nauseous, not really feeling all that great. And I was sitting at the table with my dad, and my dad was like, "What's wrong? Like, you know, no te miras bien." Like, I'm like, I really don't feel good. I don't know what's wrong. I guess it's just like, you know, pregnancy related. Like, I usually always feel sick because I've had morning sickness throughout my whole pregnancy. Literally, like, I think I only didn't have morning sickness like when I was 5 months pregnant, which wasn't even anything. It was literally 1 month. And so I remember I told my boyfriend, Jose, I said, you know, let's just go home. Like, I'm not feeling good. It's already nighttime. Noah, Mommy's trying to record. So we got home and I automatically just went to bed. I was really out of it, tired. And around 11:30 at night, I woke up to go to the bathroom because it was like coming up, like I just felt really sick. So I went to the bathroom and sure enough, I threw up. And it's the worst feeling. Like, you literally, when you throw up when you're pregnant, like you feel so drowsy, dizzy, like you feel like you're gonna faint, like your body has no energy. So I went to my room, I laid down, and I fell back asleep because I'm just exhausted. And I remember I woke up around like 2:30 in the morning, and I was 34 weeks pregnant and about 6 or 7 days. I'm not sure how many days, but I was around that time. So I woke up about 2:30 in the morning, and it was my water. I felt it coming out, like my water had broke. So I told Jose, I was like, my water broke, like, you know, and he was like, oh, you know, you just probably peed yourself, this and that. And I'm like, hell no. I'm pretty good about getting up to go to the bathroom. So I was like, no, it's not pee. So I got up, I went to the bathroom, and I was like, I'm just gonna try and pee. So I went pee, and then I got up, and it still kept like trickling out of me. So I was like, no, it's not pee, it's like a different kind of liquid. It feels a little bit thicker than your urine. So I went back to the room, and I was like, no, it's my water, like it keeps coming out of me, like it's not normal. So at this point, I called my mom, and I told her, I was like, oh, you know, I think my water broke. She was like, well, if you think it's your water, she was like, you need to get to the hospital because you never know in case of any emergencies. So I went back to the room. I told Jose, I was like, you know, we need to go to the hospital. My mom said that if it's my water, like something can happen. So let's get ready. And he was just Googling stuff. Like, I remember, like, he was Googling. And I was like, stop Googling stuff. I was like, everybody's body's different. Like, just take me to the hospital. And he was still kind of, like, unsure. Like, he wasn't, like, because it was early for us, you know. So we weren't really expecting to go to the hospital. And so I just got ready, got clean clothes on. And I don't know for what, because my water just kept coming out. And I remember I told him, I was like, look, I was like, now do you believe me? And he was like, oh shit. He was like, yeah, it's your water. Let's get you to the hospital. So we grabbed a whole bunch of random stuff. Like, you don't really know. Like, you're just like, oh my God, like it's actually happening. So we went to the hospital. We got there around almost 4 o'clock in the morning. We got to the hospital, and it wasn't really that hectic. So they took us in really fast. They got me into an exam room, and they told me how many weeks was I, and I told them I was 34 weeks or like 7 days, and they were like, well, it's too early, so we got to do a swab test to make sure that your water had broke, that it's amniotic fluid. So I was like, okay. So they do the swab test, and if it turns like a dark blue blackish color, it's a sign that it's your water breaking, your water broke. And mine's turned instantly like that, and the doctor was like, oh yeah, it's definitely your water, so we're gonna try and find out what caused it to rupture early. They did an ultrasound to make sure Noah was okay, but I settled in, and at this point it was about 5 in the morning or so, and I remember my contractions like coming in stronger and stronger, and it's like the worst feeling. When you feel a contraction, it feels like your back is splitting, like literally it feels like someone's hitting you, and you just like feel sharp pain where you don't want anybody or anything to touch you or talk to you. So I was starting to get really angry. Like I felt like I couldn't handle it, but in my mind I was like, I have to do this, because I thought I had a plan where I didn't want any pain meds, anything like that. I was about 4 hours into feeling my contractions. My mom was rubbing me, Jose was massaging me. I was on and off from the toilet because it felt good to sit on the toilet for some reason. I just was like fed up. I was like, I told the nurse, I was like, I don't think I can do it. She's like, you can do it. I was like, no, I cannot do it. I was like, I just want the IV meds to start off with and see how that goes. So I was like, give me the IV meds. So the nurse came in. She tried to put the IV in, couldn't find a vein, called another nurse, they couldn't find a vein. Literally it took like 5 nurses. So finally the last nurse came in, and she put the IV like through here, which hurt because it's like no skin. It's just literally, it's like no fat or anything. It's pretty much just, the little vein. So she put it in, and it hurt really bad. Actually left me a big old bruise. And so they put the IV in, and about an hour or so, I started feeling my contractions way more harder. And at this point, I was 4 centimeters dilated. And I told the nurse, I was like, you know what? Just give me the epidural before it's too late, because I know I'm not going to be able to handle it. It was too strong. Like, my pain tolerance is about a medium. So I told them, I was like, just give me the epidural. Like, I'm not going to be less of a woman because I get the epidural. And people who don't get it, it's the same. Like, you're not more or less. Like, you're a badass still because you're pushing out a baby. Like, regardless of having pain meds or not, like, you're a badass. Like, pushing out a baby is not as easy as people think it might be. So I got the epidural, and it went smoothly because I don't know, like I wasn't in my like I just, at this point, like, I was so much in pain that another needle wasn't gonna phase me. So they did the epidural, and it went by really fast. Didn't feel anything. And then they came in, put the catheter, because when you get the epidural, you're bed bound. Like, you stay in the bed for the remainder of the time till you have your baby, because you're numb from the waist down. They came in to check me again about 1 or 12 o'clock. I'm not sure what time it was. And then I was 7 centimeters dilated. So at this point, I was in bed. My mom and Jose were taking turns sleeping. And Jose's mom was actually on the way from LA. We were just waiting for her. Everybody from my family was coming in to check on us and, just supporting us. So fast forward to the time where the nurse came in to check me again, and I told her, I was like, it feels different now. Like, I feel like something's coming out of me. And she was like, okay, let me check you. And I was like, all right. So she checked me and she was like, yeah. She was like, you're ready. She was like, I think she said you're crowning or something. I'm not sure. She was like, the baby is, I can feel the head, this and that. And I was like, okay. So, at this point, like, my mind was like, poosh, because I was like, oh my God, like, I'm not prepared. I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, I'm really about to have a baby right now. Like, it's time to get serious. Like, this is the hardest part. So I got in my zone and I was like, okay, like, like, I'm already here. There's no going back. There's nothing you can do. So it was about 6 o'clock at night, and this was when the pushing process started. I started pushing, and I felt like she wasn't coming out. Like, it felt like she kept going back in. And I told Jose, I was like, I don't think I can do it. I was like, it's so hard. So the nurse was like, you know what? Let's try a different position. So I tried to do it like sideline position, and they had like this big old like ball that was like shaped like a pill to put in your legs, I think. And so I started pushing, and I pushed for about 15 minutes, nothing. So she was like, okay, I got another position. So I turned facing the bed on a squatting position. We tried for about 20 minutes, nothing. And at this point, I told the nurse, I was like, I'm feeling really nauseous. Like, my body is not like reacting well. I'm about to throw up. And yeah, like, I was puking left and right, like, and pushing a baby at the same time. It was kind of a horrible experience because I felt like I wasn't really like getting into it because I was so like worried that I was going to throw up again. And like throughout the whole pushing process, I was just throwing up. So my body was like drained, and I was like, you know what, let me just be on my back and try the regular way. So I got on my back, and the nurse was like, okay. She was like, let's keep trying. And at this point, Noah's head was coming out. So she was like, okay. She was like, I think you're about ready. She was like, let me call the doctor. So the doctor came in, and I started pushing. Like, I gave it my all, because when the head's like almost there, like, you have to give the hardest pushes of your life. So I gave it all I had, like all my strength. I was holding on to the rails, pushing. And I don't remember her head coming out, but I remember like her little shoulders coming out. And once her shoulders came out, everything just like just came out easy. And I remember like I was so dead. Like, I just felt like I had no energy, and everybody was like so emotional. I was so emotional. They cleaned her off, they put her on me, and when you feel skin to skin contact, oh my God, the waterworks. Literally, I cried. I was so happy. And I had her on me, and the doctor told Jose, like, are you gonna cut the cord? So her daddy cut the umbilical cord, and that was an emotional process too, because it's our baby. Like, it was really beautiful. And that was it. We had our baby, and this little potato was born. And that was really hard. I pushed for about an hour and a half. She was born at 7:30 at night. And we were so happy. Like, when in the whole process, you're scared. You don't know what to expect. You don't know what to think. But once your little baby's on you, everything goes out the window. You feel this joy that you can't explain. You're a mommy now. It's a different feeling, and it's the best feeling in the world. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my labor and delivery story. I'd say for anybody who's about to have a baby or soon due, I'd say go with the flow of things. No matter how much you plan, nothing ever goes as planned when you're about to have a baby. No, once you're there, everything switches. Everything's different. If you want to get that epidural, get that epidural. If you don't want to get it, don't get it. You always tell yourself you got this, because you do. Like, if you go through a pregnancy is hard regardless. But the labor part, like, that's a whole different thing. Mamas, don't eat me. Just tell yourself you can do it. Think positive thoughts. You know, always be thankful for your support system. I'm grateful for Jose, my mom, and his mom. I couldn't have done it without them. Also, my cousin, she was there as well. Like, she recorded all the memories, and I'm grateful for that because I get to look back at that and just enjoy it and see how my baby was born. I felt like I had to share my story because everybody's story is different, but it's always nice to hear other people's experiences so you can kind of get an idea of how it's going to be. If you guys want to hear more stories, just let me know in the comments down below. And thank you guys for watching and supporting our video. Our next video will be up soon. I have a lot of ideas, so just stay tuned. Thank you guys.